What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a couple of things I want to talk about today. This might be a type of video where we join two topics of discussion into one video, because ultimately I think what we talk about doesn't necessarily need a whole video, but at the end of the day, with multiple things being talked about, you can kind of make itself its own video. But with that being said, I want to talk about day one of training camp, just the things that I've seen on social media. I haven't really seen any videos or anything like that. All I know is, the stuff that Casey Johnson has tweeted or, posted about and stuff of that nature. Then I also want to talk about a potential rumor that's coming in place about the Chicago Bulls honoring a certain individual. So let's get started. Before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls training camp. Do you think it's going well so far? Ultimately, I feel like no one truly has the answer to that. I think the answers of training camp and preseason and everything that you see, one has to be the eye test more than anything. We need to see it for ourselves, but it's also probably going to kick in the regular season. We understand the situation the Chicago Bulls are at. We know that they're probably not going to be the best team out there. But what I'm looking forward to in this upcoming season, especially at the beginning, is just the competitiveness. How close are we in games? How competitive can we make our opponents, how competitive can we be with our opponents? Can we do those things? Or are we just going to be blown out every single game and it's going to be a lackluster season that no one wants to watch or be involved in? And all these types of things, if you know what I mean. But that's for another time. Let's talk about training camp, ladies and gentlemen. So basically, apparently the first training camp for the Bulls was about 2 hours and 15 minutes, so a nice long training session for the Chicago Bulls. And basically things like Lonzo Ball, he was participating in some contact drills. Josh Giddey was not participating in contact drills, and Patrick Williams has been playing 5-on-5 informally with the team in the September workouts for 3 weeks, and he's feeling good, and it looks like he is ready to go. So those are the things that Casey Johnson posted. Ultimately, I think there's some expected outcomes there. We've already known Lonzo Ball's been playing 5v5 informally as well, and he's been having fun there. But ultimately, when it comes to training camp, you have to expect that the Chicago Bulls would involve him in slowly. So that doesn't necessarily mean rushing into 5-on-5 action at the very beginning. But I do expect him to play 5-on-5 very soon. I do expect Josh Giddey to get more physical contact very soon. But it's kind of interesting to know where we are. Josh Giddey, as someone that has basically said he's expected to come back, or he's expected to return for the regular season, not really playing any non-contact drills, is a bit worrying. But again, there's still a lot of time there, and hopefully the recovery process is quick, smooth, easy, with no setbacks. There's a lot to ask for with the Chicago Bulls these days, and hopefully we just have a good time in the process, and Josh Giddey can get more familiarized with the rest of his teammates. And that was kind of day one of training camp, I should say. Look, I'm sure there are videos out there. The Chicago Bulls, I feel like, they do this every year, don't they? They literally make video montages and they give interviews and they do all these things. The players and the coach sitting down, giving one-on-one answers and stuff of that nature. They've done this before, and ultimately I expect them to do it again. I don't know if they've done it already, but maybe that's where a lot of people are getting their information on training camp is from. But I want to direct you away from that certain situation, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a potential rumor going on around the Chicago Bulls. Now, ultimately, if you guys are unaware, one of the greatest Chicago Bulls players to ever step foot at the United Center, drafted number 1 in the 2008 NBA draft, Derrick Rose, did recently retire from the game of basketball. And look, I've made my opinions and my thoughts on that well known. I feel like there could have been more in the NBA for Derrick Rose, but ultimately a man chose to retire, and that is a decision that only he can make. And I'm very happy that he can go on and enjoy the rest of his life that doesn't revolve around basketball and doesn't really need to even focus on basketball and stuff of that nature. With that being said, though, there is an ongoing rumor, I saw this from Bleacher Report, if you must know, that the Chicago Bulls are planning to honor Derrick Rose, I believe on the 4th of January, and that is going to be against the New York Knicks, and it will be at home as well. So a couple of things to dive into. It doesn't make sense for the Chicago Bulls to honor Derrick Rose when it's not at home, first and foremost. So I'm glad that it's going to be at home. And I'm also glad that it's against the New York Knicks. Now, I don't necessarily think I'm a big fan of the New York Knicks. You know, I like where the team is heading, but ultimately, you know, it's the Knicks. It's a little bit of a rivalry there, I would say. I don't think many fans like the Knicks unless you are a Knicks supporter. But ultimately, you cannot deny that the New York Knicks do have a lot of history with Derrick Rose as well. They have former players and coaches, I believe, well, obviously coach, but even former players, I believe, that has played with Derrick Rose, first and foremost, and also has coached Derrick Rose in Chicago, like Tom Thibodeau. So it makes perfect sense, and I think the NBA has done a great job, and the Chicago Bulls, and maybe even the Knicks, whoever's in that conversation, has done a great job in selecting the time and the dates, and I guess the opponent as well. It's the perfect place, the perfect time, the perfect opponent in the middle of January or the beginning of January, the new year. I think this is perfect, and I cannot wait to see how they honor Derrick Rose. Now, it doesn't specify that the jersey is going to be retired. It doesn't say, hey, look, it's rumored the Chicago Bulls are going to retire Derrick Rose's jersey on the 4th of January against the Knicks. Even if it's not rumored, I think we know where this is heading, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be honest with ourselves here. What's the point in keeping a jersey available to a teammate or to a future Chicago Bulls player if they get booed wearing it anyway, and no one dares go near it because they've got a reputation to uphold, not only individually, but with the Chicago Bulls as well? No one is ever going to wear the number 1 again. The people that have tried have gotten massively booed. So even if Derrick Rose, let's just say hypothetically, because he definitely deserves his jersey to be retired. Let's say hypothetically he didn't deserve to get his jersey retired. It still doesn't make sense keeping it around, because at the end of the day, Bulls fans want what they want, and they want that jersey to be up in the rafters, and they want to honor D Rose the right way. And I think that is the absolute perfect place, perfect time to see that jersey being retired. And ultimately, we'll have to wait and see. I'm kind of intrigued to see what Derrick Rose says. I'm assuming he'll give an interview or something along those lines, maybe a public service announcement. He's a man with few words sometimes. I wonder if he's going to step out of his shell a little bit to really give the proper farewell to the Bulls fans, to the Knicks fans that will be attending that game as well. His former players that will probably be there. He's probably his best friends like Joe Noah, and even guys like Taj Gibson, I assume, would probably be there. All these players and all of his former teammates, current Chicago Bulls players, everybody. I'm wondering what he's going to say. That is the biggest point of interest for me, obviously behind actually honoring Derrick Rose. I hope that date falls on a weekend, because I would love to do a watch along. I know it's actually, wait, if it's Saturday for you guys, that means it'll be Sunday for me. So I will happily do a watch along for that game. There's not many watch alongs coming for this upcoming season. Work, unfortunately, takes priority, and you know, that's just how life is. But on the weekends, I'd love to do watch-alongs, and I think that one is a can't miss. So I'm going to have to do everything in my power to make sure I will be live for that game and watching and listening and analysing that specific, I guess, that specific speech or that specific moments for the Bulls. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? Thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.